Hello everyone. In this video we will learn few more model auxiliaries. In our last video we had seen exercise A, B, C and D. In this video we will learn exercise E, F, G and H. So here we are going to learn two auxiliaries, that is should and ought to. Okay, should is used for giving advice or suggestion and ought to is used for expressing our moral duty or moral obligation, which is not compulsory. Okay, if we do not follow that moral duty, no one is going to charge a file against us, but still as a good human being or as a good citizen we should do that. Okay, it is our moral duty. So here are the examples, like should is used for suggestion, for giving suggestion or for giving advice. So you should eat healthy food. We should reach the airport by 10 am. So both of these are advice and suggestion. Okay, and after use of auxiliary should we have used V1. Make sure that with each auxiliary verb, whatever action verb you are using with that, it would be only in V1 form. Okay, and if you want to use should, you know, for for giving advice against something, so at that time we have to add not after should, and the compact form of should not is shouldn't. And examples of ought to are: we ought to conserve energy. It is our moral obligation as a good citizen, okay, as a good human being on the earth. We ought to respect our elders. So it is also our moral duty as a good human being. We ought to respect our elders. Here also you can see that after ought to we can find V1, conserve and respect. So the same way here we have to fill in the gaps using these two auxiliaries, should and ought to. After that, V1 is already given. You just simply have to choose any one out of these two, should or ought to. So in order to solve it, you must look at the situations. You must look at the sentence, that whether in this sentence advice or suggestion is given, or else it shows the moral duty, moral obligation. So first of all, you have to go through the sentences and try to identify that whether here advice is given or moral duty is showed. Okay, so let us try to solve it. So in the first one, we dash speak to the principal about our problem. So it is the kind of suggestion. Okay, so we can write should. We should speak to the principal about our problems. The next, he dash take care of his old parents. So it is a moral duty, so we can use here ought to. In the third one, education dash be available to all children. So it is also the moral duty of the government, or we can say the rich ones. Okay, so education ought to be available to all children. It is their duty to provide. जो रिच है उनकी ड्यूटी है कि वो पुअर को ये सब अवेलेबल करवाए. इट इज़ देयर मॉरल ड्यूटी. सो एजुकेशन ऑट टू बी अवेलेबल टू ऑल चिल्ड्रन. देन फोर्थ वन इज you dash visit us more often. So it is a kind of advice or suggestion that you should do this. Okay, so you should visit us more often. The next is Rita dash take better care of her pet. So as it is a dumb animal, okay, so we should take very good care of the even animals, even plants, everything, because we the human beings are strongest living being on the globe. So it is our moral duty to take enough care of our pet. So Rita ought to take better care of her pet. Now after that we are given here three more auxiliaries, would, can and could. So as we can see that all these three can be used to make request. Okay, but can is used for making informal request, whereas would and could, these two are used for formal request or for more polite request. Okay, when if you are just seeking if you are requesting to your friend, you can just use can, but if you are requesting to your elders, okay, or some officers, teachers, so at that time you have to be little bit humble, you have to be little bit polite, so there you can use could and would. But yes, one common thing again is whether it is can, would or could, but the action verb will be used only in V1 form. So let's see the examples. Can I get you something to drink? So it is informal request. But if we want to make a formal request, polite request, we can use could. Could you help me learn this poem? And would you like to take up this job? So it shows the polite tone of requesting. Now we have to change these commands into polite request using could and would. We are already given some of the imperative sentences, okay, and we have to make two separate sentences, and one example is given here, like show me the new book that you have bought. So this sentence is imperative sentence, it starts with V1, okay, it gives command. So what we have to do, we have to convert these commands into polite request. And how can we convert them into polite request? By using could and would, as we have seen earlier that can is used for informal request and could and would are used for formal request. So here we will also make polite request, formal request using could and would. So what we have to do? Nothing, simply just put auxiliary could and would in the beginning. Then we have to use subject you, because whenever imperative sentence is given, it is understood that subject is you, okay, the fellow who is in front of us, we are talking to them only. So for second person we can always use you, and after that, as usual, show, this is V1 form, so with could, would, we have to use V1. Okay, so and at the end definitely we will use question mark, as we are just turning it into interrogative sentence. Okay, so it is a request, but it is in the form of interrogation, okay, because we don't know whether he will request or not. That's why we are using it in the interrogative form. So let us solve this. The second one is shut the door when you leave. So we can say that could you shut the door when you leave, or would you shut the door when you leave? Nothing has to be done, only just use could you or would you in the beginning before shut, and at the end question mark. Then third is change the television channel. So we can say could you change the television channel, or else would you change the television channel, question mark. Okay, now you must have understood that how we have to do. Fourth one is inform my class teacher about my illness. So we can say could you inform my class teacher about my illness, or would you inform my class teacher about my illness. Fifth one is tell me if Mr. San is available. So again we can see could you tell me if Mr. San is available, or would you tell me if Mr. San is available. And the last one is go to the library and get the book I mentioned. So here we can find go and get these two V1 form, okay, and these two commands are given using the connective and, they both are connected in one sentence. So we will just use could you, would you only here in the beginning. So go to the library and get the book I mentioned. So we can say that could you go to the library and get the book I mentioned, or else would you go to the library and get the book I mentioned. Okay, so this is how we have to use could and would for making polite request, and can is also used for making request, but it is used for informal request. Now after that comes must, have to and had to. Here all these three exercise auxiliaries are used for either showing necessity or compulsion. Okay, now let's understand it one by one. Have to, okay, it is used to indicate some kind of compulsion. When something is compulsory, mandatory, so we have to use have to. Like we cannot avoid that whether we wish or not, but we have to do that. So for such situation we have to use have to. This is also one kind of modal auxiliary. For example, we have to follow traffic rules on the road. What happens if we do not? Police will catch us, they may fine us, they may scold us. So we have to, whether we wish or not, willy or nilly, we have to follow something out of compulsion. So at that time we have to use have to. And you can see after have to we have used V1 follow. The next example, Dipanshu, you will have to assist me in this project. So means you cannot go anywhere else, okay, you cannot escape from your duties, your responsibilities, you will have to assist, karna hi padega, okay, it's a compulsion, it shows compulsion. And the same thing if you want to talk about in the past, okay, so at that time we have to use past tense of have, that is had. It is used to express some commitment in the past, like Anindita had to be there by 2 o'clock because it was her commitment. Maybe she was walking there, or she might have promised someone to stay there till 2 o'clock. So in the past when you were committed to do something, so to express that we can use had instead of have. So it was compulsory for Anindita to leave there by 2 o'clock. Next example is, I had to wear a school uniform when I was a child. No one wishes to wear school uniform, okay, we want to wear colorful costumes every day, fashionable clothes, but it is compulsory for us, okay, it is a kind of rule which we have to follow. When we have taken the admission, we have committed to the school that yes, we will come in school uniform. So we are talking about a childhood time, so it is past time, and that's why we are using had to, okay, not have to. So I had to wear school uniform when I was a child. So all these have to or had to show some kind of compulsion, or else you can say commitment. It is like compulsory, willy or nilly, we have to follow this. And the next and the last is must. So must is used to express necessity or obligation, okay, like we must go for Rohan's marriage, you must keep this promise. So it is a kind of obligation or else necessity, like we must go there because he is our closest friends and he may require our help, so we must go there, it is necessity from Rohan's part, okay. And you must keep this promise, so this is an obligation, okay, it is our responsibility to keep our promise, it is our moral obligation. So here we have learnt have to, had to and must. So sometimes must is used to give advice to someone, especially when we want to emphasize that it is for their own good. When we are advising someone and when the advice is for their own good, we have to use must, like you must stop lying because in the future it would be it would be proved as a wrong thing, you may be regretted for lying, you may have to face some bad result for that. So here we are just using must for advising people, especially when we want to say that it is good for you only. If you will do so, it would be proved a good action for you. Second example, Abhi, you must stop eating junk food. If you will not stop eating junk food, you will suffer with bad health. So you must face diseases also. So when you are just advising someone for emphasizing his own good or her own good, at that time we have to use must. And after must also, after have to, had to also, we are using V1 as usual. And we normally use have to for things that happen repeatedly with adverbs of frequency, like always, often and regularly. Like I always have to do this, because it is type of complaint which we are fixed in this situation, that I always have to do the shopping on Saturdays. I cannot escape from this situation. It is compulsion. You often have to wait in line at the grocery store. So it is a kind of irritation. We are like complaining about this. So when we are using this frequency words, it shows some kind of complaint, or we are nagging for something, that we don't like this. Okay, but we just cannot escape from this. We have to pass from this kind of situation. Then must not, short form, or we can say mustn't. Okay, it is pronounced as mustn't, not mustn't. So must not or mustn't shows that it is important for something not to happen. It's for negative purpose. So here we have to use this must, have to and had to in this following 5 fill in the gaps. So let us start. In the first one, we dash maintain absolute silence in the library. So we have to, okay, because it is a fact for all time. So we will use present tense have to. We dash be regular in our submissions. So it is our duty. Okay, so we must, we can use here we must. Then we can say the fairy godmother said that Cinderella dash returned before the clock struck 12. So it is about said, means it is in past tense, so we can use had to here, and as it is a story, it has already happened, so we can use had to for that. Jake told his mother that he dash climbed the beanstalk to kill the giant. So here it is also the part of a story, a sentence extracted from the story, but it doesn't mean that we have to use here had to only. We can use must also, because John told his mother that he must climb the beanstalk to kill the giant, because if John wants to kill the giant, he must do this. It is the compulsion. Okay, if you wish, you can use had to also, but you can use must also here. If you want me to teach you dash listen to me carefully. So again here also you can use must. If you want me to teach you, if you want me to teach, you must listen to me carefully. Okay, and now we have solved 3 exercises, and now we are going to start with the last exercise, where we have to just use may, may. May is also one of the auxiliaries which is generally used to express a wish. Sometimes it is used to seek permission, sometimes it is used to show probability, sometimes it is used to make a request also. But here the use which we are watching here is about just expressing a wish. It is a kind of optative sentence that we express our good wishes for someone. Okay, we express our good wishes for someone, like may God bless you. Okay, so here you can just use may in the beginning, and at the end of sentence you can use exclamation mark. So in this exercise H, you can write these answers different ways. So your answers may be varied, it's okay, but you have to be careful about the format structure which you are using. Like here you can see may is used in the beginning, then you can use the subject. Here may the forces be with you. So who be with you? So forces. So means when we ask question with who, we get the subject. So here the forces is the subject. Okay, and then at the end you can just see the subject is you. Here you is not taken as a subject, it is taken as an object, because if you ask question with whom, so we get with you, though they look similar. Okay, you, but here you is taken as an objective. So here the subject would be only one, forces, the forces. So what would be the structure you have to use in these 5 words or phrases? Like may first, and then subject, and then at the end you can use exclamation mark. So here birthday, this word is given. So how can we express wish? Using the word birthday, and in the beginning we have to use may. We can say may you have a wonderful birthday, may you have a happy birthday. Okay, and exclamation mark. Then wedding, so we can say may you be very happy wedding together, exclamation mark. Or else we can say that may you have happy wedding. Okay, and third, at the beginning of a competition, what do we say? Best of luck, right? So let's say may the best team win. Okay, or else we can say may your team win the competition, exclamation mark. Fourth one is at the beginning of an exam. So what do we say? Generally we say that may you do well in the exam. Okay, may you pass with flying colors, exclamation mark. And the last one is for the country on Independence Day. So we say that see, after fighting for many years we have got the freedom, and when we got the freedom we started living life peacefully, and we became prospered, because Britishers used to exploit us, so we were not living prosperous life. So we can say that may our country have peace and prosperity, exclamation mark. All right, so here we end our video, and in the next video we will see the remaining exercises I, J and K. Till then I want you to write these exercises in your notebook, and whichever is in the form of fill in the blanks that you can write in your grammar magic. Thank you.